Indian entrepreneur is like Abhimanyu. He doesn't have to battle one enemy. There are multiple enemies. So acquisition of land is an issue, quantity as well as price. And we have seen certain cement companies now saying that their ability to do a greenfield expansion will take double the time of what they have previously done. And that's entirely attributable to acquisition of land. If he acquires land at a price which he can afford, then comes the environmental issues, then comes the various approvals which he has to take to set up the factory. And if he tries setting up the factory, even during construction, he has to continuously keep on fighting or taking on the might of the regulatory agencies. After that, the infrastructure bottlenecks comes into play. He pays one of the highest power costs in the world. He pays for labor productivity, which is one of the lowest. He pays interest rates, which is one of the highest in the world. And he also survives all the infrastructure bottlenecks to bring the goods as well as take out the goods. So clearly, there are lots of issues which our entrepreneurs are today facing. And partly that is reflected in our manufacturing deficit going up so significantly.
True, I agree. I think you've laid out all the issues, but if I may pursue that Ridham with you, governance is about prioritizing. Political capital is not unlimited. You have to pick your fights. If you had to advise the government to pick sort of one area, right, whether it's land, it's labor, it's the power sector, what do you think today is the binding constraint to infrastructure and therefore to manufacturing? I'm going to put you on the spot here because we can give a kitchen sink approach, but I want to try and hold in what the key issues are.
I think one factor is always difficult, but
the one or two.
Yeah, I'll stick my neck out. I think it's railways.
It's railways.
Yeah. So I think electricity is a financial problem. It's not a problem of being able to generate electricity.
Sure.
So it's about fixing the finances of SEB, and while politically difficult, I don't think impossible. Railways actually is a massive execution task. The average speed of a train in India is embarrassing 25 kilometers an hour. I tell people when I travel abroad that you can actually cycle in your country faster than what our trains travel at. And the railways have persistently lost market share, which makes it very, I think, unproductive for India. So today, I think India's railways have a 35% share in freight, whereas the average for the US and China, which are comparable size in terms of land mass, are 70%. And therefore, the cost of transportation is a lot higher. If you want to make Make in India to succeed, I think you have to reduce the cost of logistics. And therefore, I think the biggest investment or biggest focus, in my view, should be the railways.
And then same question to you. What are the one or two binding constraints?
The one thing that probably is the soft underbelly, according to me, and I'm sort of vying for my own constituency because I come from a bank, is I think the banking system. The reality is, you have a lot of stressed assets in the banking system, a lot of which relate to infrastructure of the past, right? So you have 11.1% of banking assets which are known to be stressed, gross NPAs plus restructured assets. And by the way, nobody believes that number. They think it's a lot higher than that. Ridham will tell us it's between 16 and 20% or something, right? So clearly you have a system which is already carrying a huge, backlog of unproductive assets. And therefore, the point that the finance minister made, that the capacity of the private sector to actually cough up the enormous amounts of funds required for kickstarting infrastructure and therefore kickstarting manufacturing is simply not there.
Yeah.
Right? So the amount of capital that banks require, just to meet Basel III, just to have reasonable amount of, capital or provisioning done for the stressed assets, just to provide for, expansion, a reasonable expansion of the balance sheets is enormous, right? The estimates range from $40 to $60 billion of capital alone, right? At a time when banking return on equity is below 10%, it's 9.4% as of March 2015. Now that I think is a logjam that has to be sorted out.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.